Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. We've got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money, and God knows we need it because we have had a rough start to the week. I've got 3 player props to go ahead and share with you guys in today's video. But first, and unfortunately, we have to go ahead and do a recap of how we did last night. Now, you can say what you want about us here, but the one thing you can't say is that we aren't honest and transparent here. When we lose, we let you know about it. I myself do it. Ev, we all listen. No one likes to lose, but unfortunately, you lose. You gotta own up to it. You gotta fess up. We had a really bad night last night, an 0-4 sweep. We're now 1-7 so far this week in our player prop category. We just haven't been hitting this week so far, and that's the key. Is yeah, we've had a rough start to the week, couple bad days. Yesterday, we really just weren't anywhere near. Now, it's funny because on Tuesday, I complained about how I lost 3 picks all by that hook of 1 point or rebound. Last night, the gambling god said, oh, you're mad about the hook? Don't worry, you don't have to worry about any hooks in this video because none of your picks really came close to hitting. You know, the closest one, I guess, was Davion Mitchell, had 7 rebounds and assists. It was just a complete misfire across the entire board last night. And for that, I apologize. But guess what, guys? We've got a long season to go. We got another great NBA slate. And only 3 games on with a solid slate with some great opportunities to make some money. Yesterday's in the past. It sucks. It's unfortunate. But if you've watched my videos before, we bounced back. We were, I forget what our record was last year, but we were like 30 wins above 500 last year. I'm not worried about it. You shouldn't be worried about it. Like I said, I know it's unfortunate, but we're going to go ahead and bounce back here. And I'm hoping it will be. We're going to call our shot here. It will be in today's video. So let's not waste any more time, guys, dwelling on the past. Let's go ahead and dive right into today's NBA picks. Guys, if you are watching today's video and you are still riding with me, despite the fact that we've had a just abysmal week, go ahead and comment cash money down below. You know why I'm telling you guys to comment that? Because that's what we're going to make in today's video, speaking it into existence. Comment cash money down below if you are watching today's video, if you are still riding with me. And again, I do apologize to those who have lost money because of my picks, but we do have the option to go ahead and fade me. If you faded me, you're actually 7-1 the last couple of days, so there's that silver lining, I guess. The haters are eating good this week. All right, let's go ahead and break down today's picks. Our first of 3 player props in today's video. We jump over to the outlier screen here. Comes from the Raptors Cavs game, 7 p.m. tip-off. We're going Brandon Ingram here of the Toronto Raptors over 25.5 points plus rebound. I'm grabbing this one for -115 over on BetMGM. Best odds available to me. As always, guys, shop around for the best sportsbook odds available to you. Make sure you're going ahead and capitalizing on the value in these player props. So BI over 25.5 points plus rebounds. Look at the season numbers. They look really, really strong here. He's played 11 games for the Raptors so far this season. He's cashed the over in 73% of those games. That's 8 of 11, averaging 27.55 points plus rebounds per game this season. And even if you want to go ahead and narrow it down to the last 5 games, he's cashed it in 4 of his last 5 games, averaging 27.8 points plus rebounds per game over the last 5 games. Really good volume usage rate numbers as here for for Brandon Ingram. Playing almost 34 minutes per game, taking about 16 shots per game, so a very high volume of work, and averaging almost 11 rebound chances per game. This, of course, being just over his last 5 games. You do go ahead and look at the entire season view for Ingram, and it's still pretty good. Still about 33 minutes per game. Still about 8.8 rebound chances, just shy of 9 rebound chances per game, and still taking around the ballpark of 16 shots per game. And he's shooting about 51% from the floor. So last couple of games, he actually hasn't shot that well, but the volume has been so high, it hasn't really mattered as much. So good overall data, good recent data from a head-to-head standpoint here. He's played them twice, the Cavaliers, over the last 2 years. He played them once last year with the Pelicans. He just missed it by 1. He had 20 points and 5 rebounds in that game. And they played so far once this season as a member of the Raptors back on Halloween. He had 20 points and 8 rebounds in that game. So pretty good numbers here. Look at that game. He did leave some crumbs on the table there. 7 for 15 shooting. Could have did a little bit better, but of course, 47%. You're not going to get too mad about that. Pretty good there. He played 35 minutes in that game, so nothing too crazy. And he did have 11 rebound chances, and he finished that game with, 8 rebounds. So he didn't leave too much from a rebounding standpoint. But again, overall, pretty good numbers. He does the same thing again, obviously. We have a cash in our hands. The insights provided by Outlier. Brandon Ingram has exceeded 25.5 points plus rebounds in 6 of his last 7 games versus bottom 10 defenses for rebounds allowed, averaging 28.7 points plus rebounds per game against bottom 10 rebounding teams. So just good numbers all around here. We go to the dashboard over at Guy Boston Sports. We look at this Cavs-Raptors game. Now, BI, he in this lineup for the Raptors, he's a shooting guard, right? In order to fit him and Barrett and Barnes on the court at the same time, he kind of has to shift that shooting guard position. He is traditionally more of a small forward, so in terms of where you're looking at his matchup numbers, you got to look at two different places because he is going to play some minutes at the 3, some minutes at the 2. Now, obviously, at the 3 spot, it's a much better matchup. Last 7 games, the Cavaliers, 29th in points, 28th in rebounds, 25th in assists, and then 28th in 3 points out. So that's a really good matchup there. I don't trust RJ Barrett as much as I do Brandon Ingram, if I'm being honest, which is why I didn't really look at Barrett's numbers, despite the fact that Barrett also has a pretty good matchup spot here. That being said, also look at the shooting guard position. The Cavs, 24th in points, 6th in rebounds. So a little, not as good of a matchup, but still pretty solid. We go back to the outlier screen, look at what some of these players are doing against Cleveland. Look at the small forward position here. The Heat, obviously a couple games. Jaime Jaquez, really big game. Andrew Wiggins, big game. Andrew Wiggins actually had 2 big games against them. But even you look at the shooting guard position, Norman Powell last night, he had 29 points plus rebounds for Miami. You see Norman Powell again, 35 points plus rebounds. Isaac Okoro had 20. I mean, you see a lot of green here, right? Even from the shooting guards. Quentin Grimes at 30, Dyson Daniels at 22. So some pretty good numbers across the board, if we're being honest here, from shooting guards as well. So Brandon Ingram, the numbers he's been hitting all year long with the line he has and the matchup, I think 25.5 points plus rebounds is a very solid spot here for Ingram in this game. For my second pick in today's video, we're moving on to the Hawks Jazz game, 9 p.m. tip-off tonight. I'm going with Jusuf Nurkic of the Utah Jazz under 11.5 rebounds. A little juice on this play. It is minus 140. We'll take minus 142 because ESPN bet is dying in like literally a couple weeks. Minus 142 over on DraftKings, what I'm grabbing it for. A little juice, but honestly, it's a pretty good spot across the board. He has an 82% hit rate on the season. 9 of 11 games, he's cashed the under, averaging 9.09 rebounds per game this season. Now, why is the line so high then? If he's cashing at 82% hit rate, he's averaging only 9 rebounds per game. Why is the line 11.5? Well, obviously, we know Walker Kessler's out for the season. He has sort of assumed the starting center role here for the Jazz. You look at the lineup spot here. He is the starting center. You are matched up with Porzingis in this spot, not notoriously a great rebounder. And look at the last couple of games here for Nurkic. The rebound chances have been plentiful. 22 versus Minnesota, 21 versus the Pacers, 29 versus the Pistons. So 3 of his last 4 games, he's had at least 21 rebound chances, which is obviously a lot of value, a lot of numbers. Now, granted, he's cashed the under in 2 of those 3 games. The only game that he cashed the over in that little data range I talked about, he had 17 rebounds versus Detroit. But he has come very close here with 10 rebounds against the Timberwolves, 11 rebounds versus the Jazz. Pacers, sorry, he plays for the Jazz, excuse me. So that high number of volume is something to keep into consideration here when looking at this player prop. But again, the numbers across the board are really good, even without Walker Kessler. You go ahead and put games without, and we'll throw ahead and throw Walker Kessler in here. Walker Kessler, all right, who's obviously out for the season. We look over here. You see, he's still cashed in 5 of 6 games without Kessler this year. Now, his rebounding numbers have increased to 10.33 rebounds per game, but still an 83% hit rate this year without Walker Kessler. We do have some head-to-head data, but that's last year when he was with the Hornets. You can't really take too much from that. He did cash the under both those games, but look at down below here. He's only playing an average of 13.8 minutes per game, only a total of 8 rebound chances per game. So very different circumstance. I can't really take those head-to-head numbers into too much consideration here, but one of the key areas where I really like this spot here is the matchup here. And you look at the last 7 games defensively, Atlanta versus centers, 7th best rebounding teams in terms of rebounds allowed to the center position. So a very good team in that regard. They're actually really good numbers across the board here defensively versus centers over the last 7 games. And you look at outlier here, which takes the entire season view into consideration here. Overall, not a great rebounding team, but versus centers, top 10, giving up 12 rebounds per game to opposing centers. And you go down below here to the matchup, the previous centers against Atlanta since November 4th. So over a week now of data to go off of, only one center has gotten 12 rebounds or more, and it was Ivica Zubac there. He had 12 rebounds. His line was also 11.5 there a couple days ago, November 10th, and he cashed the over. Every other center they've played, that includes Sabonis, Ayton, Pirtle, Wendell Carter Jr., Goga Batadze, Precious Achua, a couple of different names, Brook Lopez, DeAndre Ayton, a couple of names there, right? Obviously, the big ones, though, Sabonis, Zubac, Pirtle, Carter. Only Zubac has cashed the over. And I would say Zubac is a better rebounder and a better player than Nurkic, so that's less surprising. I know the volume's been high. I know he's gotten a lot of opportunity the last couple games, but I think the under here at 11.5 is a very good play, considering Atlanta a very good rebounding team against the center position. So I like the spot a lot here. A lot of good numbers supporting it. Give me the under 11.5 rebounds for Nurkic. And guys, our third and final play in today's video comes from the Pacers-Suns game, 9 p.m. tip-off. We got Royce O'Neal of the Phoenix Suns over 16.5 points plus rebounds. Royce O'Neal has been a very good player and a profitable player to bet on this season. Now I'm grabbing this for -114, best odds available to me over on FanDuel. Again, look at the overall season data, a 75% hit rate on the season for Royce O'Neal. That's 9 of 12 games, averaging 18.42 points plus rebounds per game overall this season. So very good numbers here for Royce O'Neal. Obviously, we do see that Jalen Green is out again, which means more opportunities, more shots, more work for Royce O'Neal. We narrow this down a bit. You see 8 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 18.9 points plus rebounds per game. But again, narrowing it even further, 8 of his last 9 games, he's cashed this over. Really good numbers. And then if we go ahead and look at the numbers without Jalen Green, who obviously continues to be out, so far this year, Royce O'Neal, again, 70% hit rate without Jalen Green, averaging 18.1 points plus rebounds per game. Whatever way you shake it, with Jalen Green, without Jalen Green, it's all really good numbers here for Royce O'Neal. Even look at the home numbers here. When they're playing in Phoenix, Arizona, 100% hit rate so far this season. 100%, averaging 18.83 points plus rebounds a game when playing at home. So really good metrics across the board here for Royce O'Neal. We'll go ahead and I want to take a look at the numbers without Jalen Green. All right, we'll take a look at that and see what his numbers look like from a volume standpoint. And you see, this is the overall season data. He's played 10 games, so 10 of 12 games without Jalen Green. Playing around 30 minutes per game. You have seen the minutes trail off a little bit as we've gotten a little bit later into the season, but he's still playing in the ballpark of 30 minutes per game. He's taking an average of around 9 shots per game. He's been very efficient shooting. The key thing here is that not only is he taking 9 shots, the majority of those shots are 3-pointers. All right, nearly 8 threes per game, and he's shooting 44% from 3 right now. So really good numbers. He's also averaging 10 rebound chances per game when those 10 games without Jalen Green. So really good volume numbers there. And if we look at the matchup here, okay, the Indiana Pacers defense versus the power forward position, which is where Royce O'Neal plays, 28th in points allowed, 24th in rebounds, 17th in 3-pointers allowed. So really good numbers here for Royce O'Neal. Again, look at the 3-point breakout zone. He has been crushing it from 3. Now, from a 3-point perspective, that's not the best defensive matchup, but they are in the bottom half of the league. The Pacers are in terms of 3-pointers against the power forward position. Even if we look at outlier from an overall season perspective, the Pacers 21st in points allowed to power forwards, 19th in rebounds. So across the board, it looks to be a very strong matchup here for Royce O'Neal. I like the spot a lot. We have the insights provided by Outlier that kind of reiterate 8 of his last 9 games. He's cashed the over, averaging 19.71 points plus rebounds per game over. And this is without Jalen Green. If we take the Jalen Green number out of there, obviously still 19.78 over the last 9 games. So you can go any which way, guys. But the moral of the story being, it's a really good player prop, really good value for -114. Absolutely love it. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. We got Freaky Friday tomorrow, so a good chance if we start off strong today, win some units back today, and then we kind of parlay that into a bigger day tomorrow, Freaky Friday. There's a path for us to kind of get back on track here, despite a very brutal start to the week. But again, regardless if I win or lose, I appreciate you guys supporting me throughout. And again, if you guys don't believe in me right now, I understand. You can go ahead and fade me and make some money off of my losing streak right now. Either way, I don't mind. I'm just here to give you guys some insight and some analysis into these player props. Until tomorrow, guys, with Freaky Friday, hope you're all winners. Let's go ahead and please, God, let's make some money.